Alright, we're going to be ranking every boss in Resident Evil Requiem. Starting off with Tyrant. Tyrant, I would say I really enjoyed his boss fight. The arena's fairly large. You don't feel too crammed in there. Cinematically, it's pretty fun. It's a cool looking boss. His fight itself is really fun. It's rewarding to be able to parry him over and over. You know, dodge out of the way out of the cars. I mean, it feels really cinematic when you're fighting him. It's also cool to see like a new, more badass version of Leon taking on this huge imposing threat from Resident Evil 2, and for him to just kick Tyrant's ass. It does feel, I will say this, it does feel like a bit of a cameo though, having Tyrant in the game, because he's in the game for like 5 minutes and that's it. He just shows up when you're at RPD and leaves right after that section. So he does feel like a bit of a cameo. But all in all, I'd say like the boss fight itself is one of my favorites. I'd say probably A tier. Really enjoyable boss fight. Now, Plant 43, really cool visually. However, the boss fight itself isn't that fun. You just have to dodge left and right out of its tentacles. You know, you shoot its pus balls, and it's kind of the majority of the fight. If you use any sort of fully automatic weapon, I mean, it just shreds through the boss really quickly. The boss doesn't last for very long. So, just kind of a boring fight. Cool visually, just boring. So I'm gonna probably put that C tier. It's not like an awful boss, but it's definitely not one that you'll probably remember. Now Hunk. Now this is a fun boss fight. This was probably my favorite boss fight in the entire game. Has a lot of cinematics. You're gonna be in hand-to-hand combat with Hunk a few times. It's just really, really pleasing cinematically. Super fun boss. However, the boss fight just it didn't last very long, which made me super sad that this boss fight that I loved is over within just a few minutes, and it didn't feel like a really full, complete boss fight. It just felt like a very small, like little mini boss, and then you can continue on. But the boss fight itself, you focus primarily on melee and parrying, which I really enjoyed having to do. It was fun just to sit there and like have this one-on-one back and forth combat with melee. It's kind of interesting to have him throw a smoke grenade down and try to have him come around you and attack you from behind, or try to shoot you real quick with a machine gun. Just really fun boss and really cool cinematically. So I'm gonna put this guy, I'm gonna have to put him in S tier. By far my favorite boss in the entire game. I just wish it lasted a little longer. Now moving on to the spider boss. Spider boss, I like his arena. I like the arena. I like that there's a lot of, hidden ammo scattered throughout the arena. It feels rewarding to kind of go through and really explore the arena and get the most out of it. The spider itself, it's pretty cool. I mean, I would say it's an enjoyable boss fight overall. There's a couple of gas canisters that you can throw at it, a few little things scattered around the boss arena. I will say with this boss, you're probably just going to end up shooting him a lot. You're going to use his boss arena, you're gonna run away from him, shoot him, run away, shoot him, run away, shoot him. I will say I do think it was pretty fun to have him kind of disappear off your screen for a while and then come out of a new location and kind of give you a little bit of a jump scare. So you never really knew where he was gonna quite come, which was kind of a fun aspect of the boss fight. But not quite it's not a bad boss fight, but definitely not one that I would say like I really thoroughly loved, but I would say it's a solid B tier. Like the arena, the boss itself was pretty interesting. It just was missing a little extra oomph to it. Now Gideon really, I'm kind of in between with Gideon. I really love his first phase. His first phase is really fun. Having to dodge out of the electricity zones. Parrying him is really fun. There's a little bit more moves that he has, so he feels rewarding to slowly start to learn so you can parry him a little better. He's, thematically really cool. Just, I feel like they kind of went awry with Gideon. I feel like they could have maybe had him a little bit more in the game. I was kind of upset that, he kind of disappears after Grace's section, and then you fight him on a motorcycle real quick, and then he disappears again. Like, he doesn't really feel like a constant threat throughout the game. He just shows up here and there, and then you fight him at the very end of the game. So to me, I feel like they could have executed Gideon a lot better throughout the game. But the final boss fight, his first phase is really fun, enjoyable. He looks badass, he looks cool. His second phase, though, it reminds me of Arkham from Dark Souls 3, where you're just fighting a big blob, and it wasn't super fun to fight. I mean, you're just shooting his hemorrhoids, or I'll call him hemorrhoid, second phase. I mean, it's almost like a repeat of Plant 43. You gotta kind of dodge left, gotta dodge right. He has these two big arms that kind of come down and try to hit you. Just kind of, I don't know, anticlimactic for the very final boss. He looked kind of cool, I guess, but he just looked like Arkham from Devil May Cry 3, just a slightly different color. I mean, he just wasn't all that visually appealing. The boss fight was really boring. It was just a repeat of Plant 43. So, the second phase, I just didn't like at all. I feel like they didn't execute Gideon very well. I feel like the part where Gideon encounters Grace in the office and she, escapes and puts the chair up to block him, I feel like they could have executed that a little bit better, where he became some sort of a roaming character, kind of added some constant pressure, maybe had him a few times throughout the game a little bit more to have more of a presence, but it felt like they kind of forgot about him in large parts of the game, and then he came back at the very end. So I'm going to say I really want to, I'm bounced between B and A. His second phase, didn't like. I feel like they could have also had him a little bit more in the game, a little bit more involved. But I do like his first phase quite a lot, so I'm going to put him in A tier for now. Now, the Blisterborn boss, this one is kind of fun. I liked the Blisterborn boss. I feel like it added a lot of pressure to you. I liked that, cortisol spike when fighting the Blister boss. You're fighting him kind of just one-on-one, and then you burst one of his blisters, and then now you have blister heads and a bunch of zombies to deal with. So I liked that, you have to concentrate on the boss, and then also on all these different zombies that are now in a very, very tight boss arena. So definitely cortisol spiking boss. However, you can kind of curb this by not shooting his blisters, so you can make the fight a lot easier, which is rewarding to find out. The boss arena also gives you a couple tools to fight him. So the boss arena is not horrible. I mean, it did feel a little tight, which I wish was a little larger. I mean, it did feel a little tight fighting him and a bunch of zombies on top of that, but I would say it's rewarding, especially when you find out that you don't want to shoot his blisters, and definitely like a good Resident Evil boss where it's going to increase your cortisol levels a little bit. So I'm going to say I would say he's also B tier. Definitely a decent boss, not too shabby. Now Chunk is really great in Grace's sections. I really liked having Chunk kind of being a roaming character. He's very intimidating. His noise cues, his sound cues are very cool and interesting. Definitely makes you kind of anxious as you're going through the wing and the care center. But for Leon, he's not nearly as intimidating. For me, it wasn't a super rewarding boss. You're running around kind of in circles, you're shooting at him as he's coming towards you. You stand behind doorways and you shoot him. Just wasn't all that fun gameplay-wise. He's a cool-looking boss and really well executed for Grace's section, but for Leon, just didn't scratch that itch for me, and he felt meh. I mean, he felt like a very small mini boss, which he was. So I'm gonna put him in, or say, Plant 43 level. I would say so. He's not like a horrible boss or anything, where I despised him. Now, Wesker's clone. Now, this was probably the biggest letdown of the entire game for me. Not being able to fight him or having him as a boss whatsoever. I mean, you establish him. He's very imposing. He's Wesker's clone. He should be a boss in this game. You should have some sort of, back and forth fight with Leon. I feel like they completely missed out. I feel like maybe Gideon should have fought Leon a little bit before, had him like as this imposing guy throughout the game, for you to find out that Wesker's clone is behind everything. You fight Gideon, kill him off, then you fight Wesker's clone at the very end of the game. And there's this cool back and forth between Leon and Wesker's clone. Maybe Wesker's clone is cured and he has, he's restored back to humanity. So then Leon and him are on the same, playing field, and they fight back, kind of like Chunk, maybe like a melee fight between him and Leon. I think that would have been really fun. It's just, I feel like they dropped the ball, just having him die in a cutscene while he was kind of established as kind of the main driving point behind a lot of the events that happened in Raccoon City. So with that, I'm going to create a new tier. I'm going to put him in F tier. I was pretty pissed that you're never able to fight Wesker's clone. Let me know how you guys think of my tier list. I would say Chunk for me was definitely the most favorite, and not having a boss fight with Wesker's clone is a complete letdown. So yeah, go ahead and let me know in the comments what you think of my tier list. If you liked the video, think about maybe liking it and checking out some of my other Resident Evil content. Thanks.